Now we will propose some pedagogical approaches that teachers can use to help Bengali ESL students learn the pronunciation of English. First of all, teachers can teach students the correct pronunciation of English fricatives like fa, va, tha, da, za, ra. Um, for example, teachers can explain students how these phonemes are pronounced. For example, they can explain students that in pronouncing tha and da, tongue should gently touch the teeth, and they should also explain that these phonemes are not as strong or forceful as in Bangla tha or da. And teachers can act as role models in this case, as they can role model the correct pronunciation to students. Teachers can also use visual illustrations to show students the differences in articulation between different phonemes, for example, between a pa and pa, va and bha. Such use of pictures or visual illustrations can help students perceive how those Bangla and English phonemes, which sound similar but are actually different, are pronounced differently. And such explicit instruction can be of much help to them. Teachers can also use minimal pairs to help students perceive the differences in the pronunciation of different English phonemes. And in this regard, the sounds could be presented in a variety of phonetic contexts. For example, in the beginning, middle, or end of words, because if students are presented with the target sounds in a variable or different context, they can develop their sensitivity to perceive necessary contrasts in those sounds. For example, there are some examples of minimal pairs like composer, composure, ruse, rouge, and such minimal pairs could also be placed in the context of longer texts, for example, in full sentences, because practicing contextualized speech samples rather than isolated words could be much helpful in this regard. Thus, teachers can use tongue twisters like a composer composes in composure, she rues the laws of the rouge. And recordings of another proposal can be to use high variability approach, where recordings of multiple native speakers pronouncing multiple words or sentences with the target sounds could be presented to students. And such high variability approach can help students perceive those target sounds when they are used by any other speaker, and such perceptual ability can ultimately help students in actual production of the sounds. As classroom activities, students can be presented with a sample of minimal pairs, and they can be asked to identify which words are pronounced with which phoneme, and they can also be asked to discriminate between different words by pronouncing those correctly. For example, the students can be presented with the minimal pair ruse and rouge, and they can be asked which word is pronounced with a za and which word is pronounced with the phoneme ja. And to help beginner or intermediate level students master the rules of aspiration, teachers can prepare a list of example words with the phonemes pa, ta, ka at different positions, and students can be shown which words should be pronounced how. For example, students can be presented with a list like this with example words. The teachers can show students that, for example, the word pan should be pronounced as pan, but the word spin should be pronounced as spin, and the word hoop should be pronounced as hoop. That means pa should be aspirated only when it is used in the beginning of the syllables. Another proposal can be students can imitate teachers while reading such word list aloud, and advanced level students could be introduced to the rules of aspiration, because instruction and effortful learning could be helpful to them, according to Bradlaugh. Regarding stress, for young learners, stress can be taught as a property of individual words. Then students would learn how to pronounce them an English word with the correct stress pattern at the same time as they are learning the meaning and use of that word. In this case, computer-based technologies and videos can also be used to help students perceive the pitch contour or stress pattern of English speech. Because in the teaching of stress, visual display of pitch contour can be of much helpful than only auditory only input. And computer software can be used to provide students with the visualization of the pitch contour of their own speech, which can help both students and teachers assess how their accents approximate to that of a native speaker. And this can also help teachers provide students with appropriate feedback. And students should always be encouraged to watch English movies, listen to English news or other programs on radio, television or YouTube, which can help them perceive the stress patterns in rapid English speech. And it needs not be mentioned that students should be given the opportunity to interact with native English speakers as much as they can, because it can help them improve their ability to comprehend casual native speech, and also it can help them make their own speech comprehensible to a native speaker. So these are some of the proposals that I have made in this study. And I just want to mention that the aim of pronunciation teaching should be to promote intelligibility of student speech and to improve their comprehension level of casual native speech. So that, yes, casual native speech. So these are the references that I have used. And thanks for listening my presentation. If you have any question, please email me at tmostafabd@gmail.com. Any kind of suggestion or advice would be cordially welcome. Thank you very much.